In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, Prime Minister attends conference to honor people with revolutionary contributors. Leveraging local resources to advance digital transformation. In our news, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris raises $81 million for presidential campaign.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng, great contribution to the revolutionary cause of the party and the nation, have left deep impressions and affection, not only from the party members and people nationwide, but also from overseas Vietnamese.
Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng has had radical and timely policy to care for the overseas Vietnamese community, helping them to feel attached to their homeland. It has encouraged us to contribute to the development of our homeland and country. He has devoted his whole life to serving the country and its people. We would like to express our deep gratitude for his tireless contribution to the development of Vietnam.
Overseas Vietnamese acknowledge the efforts of the Party General Secretary in enhancing national unity as well as connecting overseas Vietnamese with the country. Today, I have also seen letters and shares from many people, including overseas Vietnamese and students in Thailand, expressing their deep condolences to him. He is an example of a true communist with tireless efforts for the revolutionary cause of the party and the nation.
Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng received respect and love from his people and has high prestige in the international arena. He always paid attention to the Vietnamese community abroad. His legacy and cultural heritage will be preserved and promoted for future generations.
On the occasion of the 77th anniversary of War Invalids and Martyrs Day, Tuesday morning, Prime Minister Phie attended and spoke at the 2024 conference to honor people with revolutionary contributions and launched the Gene Bank for Unidentified Martyrs and their relatives. Prime Minister Phie expressed his emotions as the conference took place during the national mourning for General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng, an exceptional leader of the party and state who always prioritized the welfare of war invalids, martyrs, and people with revolutionary contributions. With great responsibility and deep affection, the Prime Minister requested that all level sectors and localities continue to review, improve, and better implement policies and laws for people with meritorious services to the revolution. He also emphasized the importance of carrying out repaying gratitude movements with the joint efforts of the whole society. The National Assembly Standing Committee met on Tuesday morning to decide on the arrangement of district and commune-level administrative units in the 2023-2025 period for Nam Định, Sóc Trăng, and Tuyên Quang provinces. Before the meeting began, the National Assembly Standing Committee observed a minute of silence to commemorate General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng. According to the regulations, Nam Định will merge one district into the city, reducing the number of district-level units by one and arranging 79 out of 226 communes, thereby reducing 51 communes, all while ensuring compliance with standards and conditions. In Sóc Trăng province, 2 wards will be merged into one new ward, reducing the number of ward-level units by one. For Tuyên Quang, the province will merge 2 communes, reducing the number of commune-level units by one. All 3 resolutions will take effect from September 1st this year. One of the biggest challenges in the implementing digital transformation in rural area is the lack of trained human resources. Many communes do not have dedicated IT staff, and most officials work part-time and lack formal IT training. Despite these challenges, the Community Digital Technology Group model has emerged as an effective solution. By leveraging the strength of local residents, these groups help mitigate the resource shortage.
In this village, a digital technology group is making changes to the community. This 7-member group includes core youth union members who actively assist households with digital tasks.
Senior citizens may not be as sharp as the young, but with their influence, they can be excellent supporters of the initiative. Our team consists of senior citizens and young tech enthusiasts.
Digital transformation is a complex field that requires comprehensive IT knowledge and skills. While some communes lack IT officers, Thap Thuong's community digital technology group benefits from the expertise of a local IT professional.
This is for the public good, so as soon as I was offered a role in the team, I took it up. I provide guidance on how to use equipment such as surveillance cameras and solar lights effectively and economically.
The locals of Sam Phuong commune understand the value of digital transformation. They not only embrace it, but also contribute financially to the local digital transformation process.
After being informed by the technology team and recognizing the convenience of digital life, we installed surveillance cameras and solar lights.
In Thap Thuong village alone, locals have installed over 100 cameras connected to the commune's surveillance system, enhancing security. They have also donated tens of thousands of dollars to install solar lighting systems and public Wi-Fi. As a result, all 4 villages in Sam Phuong commune now meet the criteria for becoming smart villages. Creating consensus and solidarity is key to mobilizing community resources for digital transformation. This approach ensures that digital technology groups can effectively support their communities.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade has sent a document to industry associations, logistic companies, ship owners, agents, brokers, and maritime services, recommending solutions to promote trade amidst rising sea freight. Container shipping rates from Asia to the U.S. West Coast are at the highest level of the year, ranging from $7,300 to $8,000 per 40-foot container. This has greatly impacted Vietnam, a country with substantial international trade, especially since all export activities to the U.S. and EU depend on foreign shipping lines. The Ministry of Industry and Trade recommends that export, import, and logistic businesses strengthen coordination. Industry associations should work with logistic associations, shippers, ship owners, and maritime services to improve capacity and develop plans for production, business, transportation, and trading of goods. Besides the current sea route, businesses can consider alternative routes combining multimodal transport, going by sea to ports in the Middle East and then by air, rail, or road to Europe. According to the General Department of Customs, in the first half of July, agricultural export earned nearly $900 million, up 21% over the same period last year. Export prices of agricultural products such as coffee, pepper, and rice all recorded high increases, contributing to the increase in export turnover, of which pepper was the product with the highest increase in export price, up 55% over the same period last year, reaching more than $5,700 per ton. Agricultural exports in the last few months of the year are forecast to grow strongly. The sector continues to develop standards for production, processing, and product quality in accordance with market requirements, improving competitiveness and product value. The One Commune, One Product program, also known as OCOP, has been implemented in Vietnam in recent years. It has shown a widespread reach while promoting the advantages of localities. The program aims to improve product quality and support remote areas in diversifying products, enhancing designs, and building brands. Quang Tri is an exemplary highland province that has developed a solutions to overcome promotion difficulties.
Produced organically with a natural cycle, this cooperative's powdered coffee received 3 stars in OCOP standards last year. The 2 main coffee lines are Arabica and Liberica. While not as popular as Robusta, they offer a unique competitive advantage and high economic value. Notably, the OCOP recognition has led to more favorable product output. Now, the cooperative sells about 10 tons of powdered coffee each year.
Normally, I only sell about 70%, but with OCOP recognition, I can sell another 30%. Like this year, the cooperative does not have enough products to supply the market.
This coffee line has clear origins, so I feel confident buying it as a gift.
Located on the Cheongsun Range, Hunghua enjoys a cool climate all year round, giving rise to many unique agricultural products. In addition to Arabica coffee, the district is known for specialties, which are being developed into OCOP products.
The district regularly encourages people in communes to learn the meaning of the OCOP program, support farmers in doing surveys, and build their OCOP brand. The locality also provides each commune with over $1,100 to $2,300 to improve the quality, branding, packaging, labeling, and traceability of their products.
Guangxi province currently has 138 OCOP products, with 43 rated 4-star and the rest 3-star. Many OCOP products from the province, such as green tea, coffee, pepper, and organic rice, have gained recognition in domestic and foreign markets. OCOP recognition enhances product quality and value, opening up brighter development prospects.
Since the beginning of the year, Bình Thuận has added 38 growing area codes and 5 enterprises have been granted fruit export packing facility codes. Currently, the province has 733 growing area codes and 357 cooperative and enterprises with packing facility codes. Fruits like dragon fruit, durian, mango, banana, grapefruit, and longan are exported to markets such as Australia, New Zealand, China, and the United States, South Korea, and Japan. For growing areas and packing facility that do not meet the requirements, the province recommends quickly addressing the shortcomings to meet the criteria according to regulations. And before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at foreign exchange rate for today, July 23rd. Coming up next on VTV News, Storm Phie causes heavy rain in several regions. And DNA gene bank for martyrs launched. In recent days, due to the influence of the far edge of Storm Phie, strong southwest winds have caused thunderstorms in many places in the southern region. Not only has local heavy rain caused flooding, but thunderstorms have also blown off the roof of dozens of houses. Heavy rain with thunderstorms and strong tornadoes occurred Monday morning in Long Hung A, Long Hung B, and Vĩnh Thạnh communes, Lấp Vò district, Đồng Tháp province, damaging nearly 50 houses. Of these, 2 houses collapsed completely and 44 houses had their roof blown off. Tuesday afternoon and evening, the south is forecast to continue having showers and thunderstorms, with some places experiencing heavy rain with rainfall over 70 millimeters. Warnings of tornadoes, a strong gust of wind, and lightnings are still possible. Additionally, there is a risk of localized flooding in low-lying areas. Early Tuesday morning, the center of storm number 2 entered Quảng Ninh, Hải soon after the storm weakened into a tropical depression over the mainland of Quảng Ninh. Little rain and occasional sunshine were seen in Mong Cái on Tuesday, indicating that the tropical depression is weakening in this area. Currently, the tropical depression is between Quảng Ninh and Hải with an intensity level of 6 and a shock level of 8. Previously, Cat Ba Islands and Haiphong experienced heavy rain with 309 millimeters of rainfall, causing flooding in some low-lying areas. Mainland Quảng Ninh, Hải Dương, Hòa Bình, Thái Bình, and Bắc Giang also saw heavy rains of over 100 millimeters. The forecast predicts continued rain in the northeast region until Wednesday. Currently, Mong Cái authorities are taking ship and boat to sea, preventing people from sailing out until the storm fully subsides. Waters has been released from Tràng Vinh Lake to ease flood current. On Tuesday morning, the DNA gene bank for martyrs whose information and relatives have not been confirmed will be launched. This opened up hope for more than 300,000 families of people with meritorious services, and is also the aspiration of the entire party and the entire people. According to the Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs, the DNA identification method has been deployed with nearly 10,000 samples of martyr remains and more than 3,000 biological samples from martyr relatives. As a result, more than 1,000 martyr identities have been matched and confirmed to inform their relative. Although there were initial successes, the DNA testing of martyr remains is still facing many challenges. If the martyrs' remains couldn't be gathered and identified in about 10 years' time, the search will be almost hopeless. Therefore, many solutions are being implemented in the race against time.
The martyrs' bones are degenerating. Only 30% of remains samples are of good quality, and the success rate of DNA identification is even lower than this number. It is difficult not only because the remains samples are highly degenerated, but also there is lack of database and facilities to implement DNA testing.
The records do not include where martyrs are buried, which battlefields they fought on, and there is no relatives data. If we compared with millions of samples, it's very hard to get results. If the number of comparison samples is only a few hundred, the success rate is higher.
A martyrs' gene bank has been launched. To build this bank, relevant units will take samples of relatives of martyrs whose remains have not been identified and then genetically assess all martyrs whose remains are found.
When we have this gene bank, martyrs' identification depends only on the martyrs' relatives. So it will shorten the time to find the identities of martyrs.
Time is the enemy of those who are pursuing the DNA assessment of martyrs. They need larger investments in facilities, equipment, and mechanisms for this activity.
We request the government to increase the purchase of modern technological equipment and to add human resources for martyrs' identification.
According to statistics from the Ministry of Labor, Invalids, and Social Affairs, there are still more than 300,000 martyrs' remains nationwide that have been buried in cemeteries but whose identities have not been determined, and about 180,000 martyrs' remains that have not been found.
In Vietnam's Central Highlands, the communal house known as the Rong House holds profound significance for ethnic groups. Therefore, preserving the Rong's communal space remains a collective priority for local communities. In the northern Central Highlands region, where sizable populations of the Bana ethnic groups reside, these Rong houses continue to be diligently maintained by the community.
For the Bana people, the Rong House signifies community pride and showcases their unique cultural identity. The imagery of Rong houses is inseparable from the vast mountains, resonating with the sounds of gongs and the swirling dance around the fire, accompanied by communal rituals and the sharing of cane wine.
Every ethnic village has a communal Rong house. It is built from collective resources. It hosts community events and anniversaries, so it's very important.
A Rong house is inseparable from ethnic life. Without its presence, the local community of an ethnic group will lose its heritage.
One notable Rong house is found in Consa village, Hatay Commune, Chiba district, Gia Lai province, and is renowned as the largest Rong house in the Central Highlands.
Built entirely from natural materials by the skilled hands of the local ethnic community, this structure was completed in 2017 and stands as a source of immense pride for its inhabitants.
The upkeep of these row houses is challenging, particularly in terms of maintaining the deteriorating roofs. It requires original forest wood that is now restricted. Local residents hope for support from authorities to address this issue.
In an effort to preserve their traditional cultural heritage, the Bana community has collaborated with local authorities to rebuild and refurbish their row houses over time. While the use of materials has evolved, they strive to retain the distinctive characteristics that uphold the spiritual and cultural values of the Central Highlands row houses.
Coming up next in our War News, at least 55 killed in landslide in Ethiopia. And U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris raises $81 million for presidential campaign. At least 55 people were killed in a landslide in a remote area of southern Ethiopia on July 22nd, local authorities said, warning that the death toll could rise. A statement from the Gofa Zone Communication Affairs Department said the landslide occurred at around 10 a.m. local time following heavy rains. Search and rescue efforts were underway to look for survivors. Ethiopia is experiencing seasonal rains that run from July to September. It was battered by multiple landslides, resulting in at least 32 casualties in 2018. An overwhelming majority of the U.S. Democratic Party chairs have announced their support for Vice President Harris as their nominee for president, according to CNN delegate estimate. After U.S. President Joe Biden announced he won't seek re-election, Vice President Kamala Harris has secured the support of enough Democratic delegates to win the party nominations for president. According to the AP, Harris has secured the support of 2,538 delegates, more than enough to become the party presidential nominee. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris said she is looking forward to formally accepting the nomination soon. She has also said that building up the middle class would be at the center of her presidency. Her campaign said on Monday it had raised $81 million in the first 24 hours, a historic amount of support for a Democratic presidential nomination. At least 39 Palestinians have been killed and more than 120 wounded in Israel's latest assault on the Khan Yunis area in southern Gaza on Monday. Residents of the area said that Israeli tanks backed by airstrike advanced into Bani Suhelia on the eastern edge of Khan Yunis. According to the local health authorities, women and children were among the dead. Earlier on Monday, the Israeli military ordered Palestinians in the vicinity to leave. The United Nations, several international organizations, and local warned that there was no safe place left in Gaza. In Bosnia, wood traditionally was used for clothing, packaging, carpets, and even wall paneling. However, along with nearly 400 other heritage crafts, it has waned in popularity in modern days. An artist in central Bosnia is keeping traditions alive by embracing the traditional craft of creating pictures from felt.
Artist Ida Pasalic sits quietly, immersed in an old-fashioned craft in her home studio. Pasalic is felting pictures using the colored wool piled on one side of her wooden desk. A mechanical engineer by training, Pasalic sees hand-felting pictures of landscapes and flowers as a way of honoring a craft grounded in the country's history as a nation of shepherds.
When I realized how the passing of time was erasing our old crafts, I believe that it's very important to resurrect them. I'm an artistic soul, and I believe that all forms of art, which, in my opinion, include heritage crafts, have huge potential to build bridges between people. One aspect of this bridge building is linking the old and new generations, and I contribute to it by sharing with the young the old ways of an old craft.
Pasalic has been recognized by the City Museum of Zenica, which selected her for inclusion in the Maiden platform. The project is described as a depository of knowledge, offering insight into transdisciplinary expertise and the natural resources of Bosnia, Croatia, Germany, Portugal, Serbia, and Slovenia.
The aim of the Made In project is to find new stories and emerging crafts that pair tradition with products that attract modern customers. We focus on interesting and useful products that rely on heritage crafts, preserving traditional techniques while nudging them in a new direction.
Pasalic says her work is an expression of her love of the arts and heritage crafts. What she does hope for, however, is to attract new generations. For that reason, Pasalic teaches workshops to train new felt makers and hopes that at least some of her trainees will also embrace her mission to prevent this traditional craft from disappearing.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.